guys, you may be looking at the last of its kind, a 100% bone stock, like it fresh out of the crate, right down to the original tires and chain on this thing. Original paint, original frame paint. It's an absolute diamond. It was owned by Linda Ray Rinaldi. In fact, she engraved her name underneath the seat into the metal on it, and we preserved that. We didn't mess that, we left that there. She had a lifelong love affair with this bike. Well, that was almost 50 years ago, so Father Time is undefeated, my good fellows, so this needs a new home because she's no longer riding. In any event, to find an original blue RD400 with 5,005 miles on it is absolutely unheard of. Finding a unicorn or the Loch Ness Monster, you've heard of them, but you haven't seen one. I don't know of another all-original 77 RD400 anywhere in the continental U.S. with original tires on it like this. It's just, if it is, it's squirreled away somewhere. This one is going up for sale. We sold the red brother to this one about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. That one sold for $14,000 at auction. The value of these two-strokes is just going through the roof, and for good reason. They are absolutely awesome. They're a lot of fun to ride. They're lightweight. They're antiques, but they have the mechanical integrity that Yamaha is known for. Definitely more reliable than the Kawasaki triples. This is a bike that you could get on and use as a daily rider if you wanted to. In fact, I have a friend. His name's Mike. He ran the Mickey Finn's Honda shop. I worked there when I was in high school, and a couple years after high school before I moved on, but he ran a Honda franchise for 45 years. Guess what he rode to work every day? A 77 RD400. He still has the bike. He was a pro-level motocross racer too, Mike. And he loved that bike. He's retired now, he still has it. It's remarkable, the original tires on this bike, sometimes they get like a square feel, and she had this thing up on the center stand, so no pressure on the tires. We did put new tubes in it just for safety's sake. And gave this thing a full going over. This thing hauls ass. It had a full mechanical, what I'll call, not a restoration because it didn't need one, it only has 5,000 miles, but a preservation service where we went through every nook and cranny, every bolt. I got a 2-page work order I'll go over with you, and taking special attention not to change any of the original components out, right down to putting the chain in the parts washer, and then taking it out, thoroughly cleaning it and remounting it. But look at the profile of these mag wheels right here. This is like a Porsche 911 or a 69 Chevelle SS. This is the design that has stood the eyes of time and still looks badass. Metal gas tanks, metal fenders. In fact, the front fender on this one is probably the last NOS, new old stock RD400 fender on the planet. We bought it off eBay, and the original fender had a couple scratches on it, and we saw this one come up. It was $385 for the front fender, so we bought it. And installed it, so if the front fender looks brand new, it is brand new. I'm gonna bring it in the museum and go over the full work order of everything that's been done to it. I'm going for a ride, I'll see you in 5. So this is cool. Now that Tyler, we hired a professional video editor. Junior and I are just way too busy to edit videos with the amount of volume we're doing. We're the #1 gas, #1 Stark, #1 fuel dealer on the planet. Also Husqvarna e-bikes. We sold over 150 bikes last month. That's crazy busy running the shop. So we'd like to give you guys better videos. So we hired a professional videographer. You probably notice the quality is getting better. He's able to edit and do things like this helmet cam video, which Junior just didn't have the time to do them anymore. So he's been flat out. And I get to bring you guys along with me for these test rides. So instead of just watching me ride by. But I've been a big fan of the RD series. I had a Triumph 500 when I was 14, 15, and I traded it for an RD400D, an orange one. This is 1980. I absolutely love that bike. I rode the wheels off it daily. Most of these were owned by young guys that rode them into the ground, not knowing they'd be collector's items. So to find one that's 100% original like this, that's been massaged to perfection by the best in the business, us, is, well, the only one that even comes close to this was the red, and that was a different year. That was a 76. This is absolutely the lowest mileage, nicest 77 we've ever seen. But the red one sold instantly to one of our long-term clients who's bought several bikes from us. He called Junior. It didn't even make it to eBay. He just called Junior and made him an offer, and he took it. So that one sold for, or maybe it did go on eBay. I don't remember. I know Junior sold it. He does all the sales. All I know is it sold for $14,000 the first couple days. I think it was up on Instagram, but yeah. So look at the gauges on this thing, man. They freaking look brand new. The gauges look brand new. All of the lights, the turn signals, high beam, low beam, the horn, inside of the tank looks like it just came out of the crate in 1977. That's a hallmark of a well cared for bike. The tank is spotless on the inside. The original paint still shines beautifully. The gauges, the turn signal, all of the fittings on here, all of the writing on the handlebar controls, the on-off, everything's perfect on it. The original clutch. Linda never dropped the bike. She must have started on a dirt bike as a kid, because a lot of people that youngsters that get a bike like this will end up crashing it. She was a good rider. She never dropped this bike. There's no evidence of it being dropped on the left or right hand side anywhere. It's well cared for, kept indoors, stored indoors. Most of these were, again, ridden by young guys that felt the need for speed, like our own Bill Blythe. He bought one of these when he was a kid, road raced it with great success at Daytona and Laconia and a lot of other national tracks. When they raced them, they'd usually, put rear sets on them, clip-on bars, little fairings. They'd get dropped a lot and they, slid out. So most of them got destroyed. Even the ones that were for street use, guys had put DG pipes on them, and super rare to find one this nice and original. If you ever come to Rockville to visit the museum, you got to come up to Fox Tower here and check it out. It's a World War I and II memorial tower, and the view out here is just spectacular. Especially when there's a mint original paint RD400 in the shot. Look at that, huh? She's a beauty. Yeah, Linda took really good care of this her whole life. Hopefully she'll appreciate this video. The RD400 platform is an excellent racing machine, but it also is a really smooth platform for just cruising around like I'm doing. They shift beautifully, clutch beautifully. Suspension's nice and comfortable. It's got a long, comfortable seat. Bars are right where you'd want them. Yeah, it's been over 40 years since Yamaha imported two-stroke street bikes to the United States for public consumption. This one here will be 50 years old in about 18 months. It's going to be parked on the second floor of the New England Motorcycle Museum. We're open 7 days a week right now. If you want to come take a look at it, we invite you to. Don't wait long, because I'm pretty sure when this goes up on eBay, it's going to be gone in a New York second. The collectors that look for ones like this know they're few and far between. I don't know if the camera does justice for how steep this hill is right here, but it's not even legal to make streets this steep anymore. I mean, it's like unbelievable. This is like a ski luge. Definitely wheelie all the way up this hill with this if you wanted to. This bike's carbureted perfectly. It's got a brand new battery in it. The fuel tank was rinsed out. And we're running VP 94 fuel in here. Carbs were cleaned and rebuilt. Rebuilt the fuel petcock, new fuel lines, fresh air filter, new gear lube. They flushed out the tank and put fresh auto lube injector oil in it. So she's ready to go. Tuned perfectly. A lot of hills in Rockville. Spent quite a bit of time in the detail shop too. They actually removed the front and rear wheels and vapor blasted them so they would look brand new. Hubs look brand new. The original tires were removed from the rims. Oh, check this kid out. He must be new at it. That's awesome. Kid taking his first ride on the mini bike. Looks like he was gonna fly off the road. That's where we all started. Little Briggs & Stratton mini bikes. Well, I hope you enjoyed the ride along with me. Let me know, do you guys want more videos with ride along like this, or do you prefer the just talking about them when they're stationary? I think this would probably be a little bit more fun to hear the story about the bike while we're moving, but I'll leave that up to you guys. I can't think of another bike from '77 that I'd want to have more as a daily rider than this right here. Like my dad used to say, if you're not happy right now, you'll never be happy. Hey, get yourself some Kaplan Cycles swag here. Get yourself a t-shirt. These are all the museum bikes in here. Just rows and rows and rows of beauties. I've got Doug Henry's factory bike in here. I got John Dowd's factory bike. I've got the CR500 that Robbie Knievel jumped over LA. We leave this space open here, down here lately for filming, because in the wintertime, we pretty much film exclusively in here. Now that it's spring, we're out riding, thank God. You gotta admit, she's a sight for sore eyes. Thank you, Linda Ray, for preserving this beauty for a whole lifetime. Would you just look at it? Freaking stunning. Absolutely beautiful.
She is absolutely gorgeous, isn't she? Look at that deep, dark blue paint job with the black and light blue decals, pinstriping. Just absolutely freaking beautiful. And check this out. Billy Blythe, our resident RD expert, pulled this out of the museum archives and made a photocopy, which I kind of wrinkled a bit, but this is the actual Yamaha brochure, and this bike is exactly the same as the one in the brochure. It's 100% mint and original. Every nut and bolt on this bike is the one that it left the factory with. It has been massaged to perfection here by the best in the business, us, and we are RD aficionados. We love these old RDs. Of all years, in all models, the 125s, the 250s, the 350s, the 400s. This is the ultimate. This is the top of the line, the top dog in the RD lineup, the biggest two-stroke 400 they ever made for the street. So I'm going to go over the work order here. What Justin, Mr. Turbo, who rebuilds 6-cylinder turbocharged motorcycles and makes custom turbo kits. So let's just say he's more than qualified to work on this bike. Yep, he filled, charged, and installed a new Parts Unlimited battery, removed the original chain, cleaned the sprockets, washed the chain on the power washer, and reinstalled it. I told you it was original chain. It is. Original tires. Removed the front wheel, replaced the original tube, reinstalled the wheel on the bike, cleaned the original front brake master cylinder, rebuilt the front brake caliper, bled the brakes with DOT4, and installed the new NOS front fender. That's a brand new, fresh. I unboxed that with the original packaging out of the Yamaha carton myself. We bought it for $385. It's probably worth substantially more than that. I thought it was a bargain. The original one had a couple of scratches in it, so I think that was the best buy I've gotten on an RD part in a long time. I wish I could buy 10 of them. Has the original grips, both of the gauges, the left and right side gauge right here, were removed, and the gauge housings were professionally painted because the paint was kind of faded on it. Both, and you would never know that if I didn't tell you, but we did do that. The let's see, remove the, let's see. First of all, look at the writing I'm reading here. This is like 6 point, and I'm 60 years old, so bear with me a second here. And it's scribbly by Mr. Turbo. Even with my glasses on, I can't read it. Pulled the airbox lid, inspected the air filter. It was like new, which is not a surprise. When you look inside the gas tank, you'll see why. Pulled the carbs, rebuilt them to perfection, all new gaskets and seals, new fuel lines, inspected the reed cage. They were like new. No surprise there. Lubed the clutch and throttle cables, lubed all the switches on both housings, the high-low beam switch, the kill switch, the turn signal is a horn. Electrically, the bike is a 10. Removed the complete exhaust system, pulled the baffles, removed the original fiberglass matting, burned out the pipes, reinstalled them back on the bike. So basically, these are two-strokes, and ridden by a girl who didn't wind it out much. There was a substantial amount of two-stroke deposit on the baffles, so we cleaned those out. It sounds and looks and runs like brand new. The pipes are as clean on the inside as they are on the outside now. We replaced the left ignition coil, replaced the complete points plate assembly with a new unit, timed the ignition to perfection, drained the original two-stroke oil and bled the system with new Bel-Ray SI7 2T oil. Cleaned and rebuilt the original rear brake master cylinder, rebuilt the rear brake caliper, bled with DOT4, tested all electronics. They all work perfectly. Replaced the original rear tube, so the rear wheel came off, and the original rear tube was replaced on the original tire. Set the chain tension to perfection. Replaced the left rear turn signal with an NOS unit. This is another NOS part, brand spanking new turn signal. Replaced the front left turn signal lens. Drained the fuel tank and filled it with 1.5 gallons of EP94. Pulled the front end off the bike. Installed new fork boot caps. You can see these right here. These are brand new. So the whole front end came off the bike. Drained the fuel tank and filled it with 1.5 gallons of EP94. I already read that part. Reassembled the front end. Set the tire pressure to 36 PSI front and rear. Synchronized the carbs. Got the bike running perfectly. Set the air screws and the idle to perfection. While the front wheel was off, he vapor plasted the front wheel, and detail department did the same to the rear. They moved the rear wheel and vapor blasted it. So as far as the parts it was used, I'll get into that in a second, but let me go over what the detail shop did. Bike was steam cleaned and hand washed. I personally washed it. I washed 99% of the classics that come in here, and I'll tell you why. I want to put my hands on every freaking square inch of this bike before the techs get it, before the detail shop gets it, and it's my way of familiarizing myself with the bike. And in fact, I just occurred to me now, I've never ever, on any work order ever that I've read to you guys in the last 11 years that we've been on YouTube now, I've never included my time in the work order. So thousands of hours washing bikes, but that's not even on the work order. But I steam clean and hand wash this bike myself with an $8,000 hot water steam cleaner, power washer, and hand washed it. So, when I do it, I do the bottom of the engine. I do, the bike's leaned over, and I do the bottom. The bottom of this bike is as clean as the top of it. So then it goes to the detail shop. They cleaned and polished the exhaust. The rear wheel came off. That was vapor blasted. The sprocket was cleaned. The swing arm was polished. They cleaned up and polished the forks a little bit. They didn't make them look like chrome because we wanted to leave this thing looking original, so we did not chrome out the front forks like we normally do. They painted the bottom side of the seat. I'll show you there. I'll show you the bottom side of the seat where Linda Ray Rinaldi had her name engraved into the bottom of the seat. The woman who owned this bike forever. They sandblasted and painted the kickstand, sandblasted and painted the foot pegs mounts, sandblasted and painted the rear brake pedal. This is again 8-point bold handwritten. The engine case on this side was completely repainted. This engine case, and that's a brand new Yamaha emblem. The foot peg foot pedal brake was repainted also. The center stand was repainted. The swing arm is the original paint. The frame is the original paint. They just buffed and cleaned that. The chain guard on the other side that's original paint. That was just cleaned and polished, buffed and waxed. It's pretty remarkable that the frame, swing arm, and I mean, look how that thing shines, and it's almost 50 years old. That's a hallmark of a bike owned by a woman that really loved it. So the tank was given a 3-stage process where it was buffed and polished and waxed using new coat as a final polymer wax on the final coat, so it shines like brand new. That's 100% original. No one's ever fiddled with the paint job on this bike. That's original paint on the tank, the frame, the side panels, the rear fender. Like I said, all the cycle parts are original except for the front fender, which is an NOS brand new front fender from Yamaha. Polished all the chrome, and that's about it for the detail shop. The parts list here is a clue as to how nice and low miles this bike is. The only parts that aren't original on this bike are the tire tubes, front and rear, the fuel lines, the points plate and the points. These are all consumables, by the way. The Yamaha engine badges, the NOS front fender, the brand new rear turn signal, the new turn signal lenses, the new battery, and then of course fuel, oil, brake fluid, and the ignition coil I mentioned. So, yep, they went through this thing top to bottom, front to back. It was a total of 75 hours of shop labor, a little under 2 weeks, and that doesn't include my time. So I add my time in it, and it's a full 2 weeks. This bike, it came from the same collection, the red one that just sold for $14,000 before it went to auction. I think we should have went. It's always a dilemma. Like when we get a bike in like this, and we know we can't keep it because, well, we can't afford to keep them all. And there's 22 people that work here full time, so we have a lot of overhead in this massive facility. So we sold 150 motorcycles last month. So a lot, I would say 70% of them were brand new bikes, but quite a few classics too. So I always wonder, would it be better to let an eBay auction, put it on eBay and let the auction run its whole way, or Junior's got a lot of collectors that we've been doing this for a long time that trust him and bought multiple bikes, and they'll see something like this come through and we'll just make him an offer and he just sells it. I'd like to see him go the full term, put him on eBay, let it run the full cycle so everybody gets a fair shot on it. But there are some guys that have been buying bikes here from us forever, and they'll just call them and buy them up. So maybe you're one of those guys. So I don't know, but we appreciate everybody's support while we're doing what we love, getting to massage these classics to perfection. If you come around this side, the same treatment that the right side of the engine got, the left side got the full spa treatment also. The covers were sanded and painted, and then of course a brand new badge on that side, so it looks factory fresh. The upper cylinder fin here was polished a little bit, not too much, just so it looks. All the finishes on this bike look 100% exactly the way they did the day it came out of the box. The consumable areas where paint wears off, like on the kickstand and the center stand and the foot peg mounts, those of course are repainted, but the same semi-gloss that they came from the factory. So just an absolute diamond. 75 hours of shop labor. Not much in the way of parts here. I think it was $820 in parts and 75 hours of labor. The total came on the work order to $13,945. So that's 75 hours of shop labor, 2 full weeks with at $175 an hour. So it adds up pretty quick. So this is another bike that's going in the high roller section. We can't sell it. Obviously, we paid for it and shipped it from Michigan too. So we've got a small fortune tied up in this. But you look at what the RZs are bringing, well north of 20. You can't compare this motorcycle to a Facebook, Craigslist bike that hasn't run in 10 years that needs to be gone through, that's of questionable origin, and who knows if the mileage is even original, what it says on the odometer. This one is 100% unequivocally guaranteed original, and it is an absolute freaking diamond. So be hard pressed to find a nicer one. That's for sure. Original Yokohamas. Let me show you underneath the seat here before I forget. Now, that's nothing the seats. I restored an RD400D. I spent just under $700 recreating the seat. I needed a seat base. I needed the seat key assembly, the latch, the trim, the foam. I ended up buying like a couple of the parts because the ones that came in weren't right, and it was just under $700. So to have a seat like this nice, to me is awesome. This is all 100% original, except for the paint on the bottom side of the seat. We did repaint that. Has the original compartment here that you put your registration in. And if you look closely here, you can see Linda Ray Rinaldi engraved her name, Linda Ray Rinaldi. So engraved her name in the bottom of the seat. So that's pretty cool. In fact, her phone number is on here too. You can see right here on the bottom. You need a light to see it, but she engraved her phone number too. So if anybody ever stole it, all you have to do is look underneath the seat. Linda Ray. Original battery, rubbers, the carburetor top, the bolts for the fuel tank. Everything under here is the original toolkit. I don't think it's ever even been out of the bike. It's all there. I guess if you found one in the crate, it would probably be nicer, but that's about the only way you're going to get a nicer one than this anywhere. This one's been done and kept as original, 100% original, except for that new old stock NOS front fender. If you have any questions about this beauty, give us a call, 860-454-7024. Ship it anywhere in the country for you. Roll on, roll off, white glove service. So you don't have to crate it. You probably don't need financing if you're looking to buy this bike, but if you do, we offer financing just like on the new bikes that we sell here. And we do take trades. So God bless Linda Ray for keeping this beauty alive and for my team to massaging it to the showroom brand new perfection that it is 48 years after it came out of the shop. Thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe. 80% of you guys watching aren't subscribed, or 82%. I'd appreciate the support, just trying to grow the channel. And thanks for watching, and God bless America.